It's 7:29 on Sunday, and I just got back from Youmacon. It's now 1:31 p.m., and I am very glad I wasn't working today because I probably would have been late. I am also now infinitely more awake than I was for 3 of the 4 days of Youmacon. Started Thursday and ended Sunday. I went there from Columbus, Ohio. It was in Dearborn, Michigan. Anyway, here's what happened. I was going to get there early on Thursday so that I could get my pre-registration badge, hit a couple panels or events, and then meet up with some friends to figure out where my room was and get something to eat. But there were a few setbacks. One, I had yard work to do. I know that's a lame excuse. And 2, I had cosplay to finish. And I know that's lame, if not lamer than the yard work excuse. Anyway, I wound up getting to the con about 9:53, and pre-registration closed at 10 o'clock. So I sprinted to the registration desk and managed to get my pre-registration badge in time. Looks a little something like that. So then I figured out that my friends were TGI Fridays, and I met them there to have probably the only normal people food that I had for a couple of days. From there I went back and met up with Ben, who was the guy who was running the room, and also a very good friend. And that's where I found out that they had custom room keys. Room keys which you can keep as souvenirs. Which I did. Friday morning rolls around, I throw on the cosplay for 90s Kid, and I start looking around the convention. Now, it was Friday morning, so it was still early and not a lot of stuff was set up. Most of the people on Artist Alley weren't set up, the dealer's room wasn't open to everyone yet, and there generally weren't that many people running around. But there were still some things out there, like there were Death Note cosplayers, including one person who actually dressed up as the Death Note itself. And it wasn't until around 4:30 that I saw Angry Joe randomly running around halls. So I started to follow him. Or stalk him, whatever terminology you want to use. He eventually went back to the Maid Cafe, which ended up being perfect because Doug and Lewis were there too. They were hanging out around the entrance, and eventually Lewis saw me dressed up as the 90s Kid, and, well, this happened.
Are you too tired for a dude-off?
I am not too tired for a dude-off. I am always ready. So I'm not in my proper battle gear.
Just going around seeing if there's people.
Okay, I have the unfair advantage then. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Damn it!
The master remains strong!
And because Joe was there, and after that blogger episode of Transmission Awesome, I felt like maybe I should introduce myself as something other than 90s Kid.
Dude, that's like the best cosplay I've ever seen in my life!
I know, right? Hell yeah!
Dude, I actually know you! I know you!
Do you?
Yeah, and you know me. Check out my badge.
What the hell? What's up, man? Holy crap, dude, I didn't even recognize you. You just dressed up like 90s Kid. What is this?
What you see is what you get.
Oh, yeah, that was on your shirt.
That's the catchphrase of the 90s Kid.
I gotta be accurate.
Exactly. It's a very accurate costume, more accurate than the actual costume.
And then Doug punched me in the face.
Thank you.
Okay.
The day rolls along and I see Doug, Lewis, and Joe in Artist Alley again. Except this time it ends up becoming this little circle of conversation between the 3 of them, me as 90s Kid, a bum cosplayer, Big Al, who's a guy who does rants on the internet, and a few other random people. And that was probably one of the highlights of the convention. At least for me.
Yeah, they had a TV camera outside for the local news, and they photoed me, and they're like, "So, how do you like count? Why are you here?" I was like, "To get change."
Wait a minute. Which one is real?
Who's who? I'm the bum. I'm the bum.
I can't tell.
You're not a bum. Let's do it, bitch. That's it! Taco attack!
You know, it'd be really funny if James Rolfe just so happened to walk in the door.
Well, speaking of taco attack, you know there are free tacos at Taco Bell tomorrow.
Oh, hey,
What's that?
What? Free tacos at Taco Bell tomorrow. Between 6 p.m.
6 to 12.
Serious? Yes.
I wasted my change on this.
One free black taco. Yes, you did.
Ooh, black taco.
I already ate something.
That's hardcore.
It's pretty good.
From there, I went on to the game room, which was where I was spending most of my time during the day. And the game room for Youmacon was awesome. They had a couple of setups for Rock Band 2, a couple of setups for DJ Hero. They had the basic console setups for things like Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty, Halo 3, all that other stuff. They had a surprising amount of arcade machines. They had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Guilty Gear, Percussion Master, Drum Mania, Initial D. So many arcade machines I can't begin to name them all. They had different kinds of Pump It Up and Dance Dance Revolution and Percussion Master. And I'd just like to say real quick, playing Nirvana songs on Rock Band 2 when dressed as 90s kid, that's hardcore, man. And I eventually went to sleep in preparation for Saturday. Although I didn't get to sleep in a bed. Due to space limitations, I slept in a chair. And I didn't have a blanket, so I used my jacket. Saturday actually started off sort of like a game show, because I ended up in the bathroom playing Guess Which Towel is Clean? The answer was none of them. But I actually woke up early because I was supposed to wear this cosplay for a photo shoot. I think it was called the Obscure, Rare, and Original Cosplay Photo Shoot. I woke up early because there were still some problems with the costume, and I spent a lot of time up in the hotel room trying to fix them. It didn't really work out, but you know what, that's not a big loss in the long run. I can just fix it for another convention anyway. I eventually wound up getting some pizza with some friends. And by some friends, I mean 22 people. It was rather interesting getting 22 people inside of CC's. I eventually got back, I was dressed as 90s kid again, and thanks to the help of the Mountain Dew Knight, whoever you are, I salute you, I eventually saw Doug and Lewis again. And this time, Doug was dressed up as the bum, Lewis was dressed up as 90s kid, and well, there you go.
Dude! Wait, who are you?
I know who I am. Who are you?
I know who I am. Who are you?
I know who I am. Who are you?
Who are you?
I am 90s kid.
I am 90s kid.
I believe that I am 90s kid.
And we're the
I believe that you believe that I am 90s kid.
I believe that you believe that I believe that I'm 90s kid.
You're a clone.
Oh my god! We're in Bizarro World! Ah! Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
Wait a minute, I must be the evil one because I have the beard.
Oh no!
But he doesn't have a beard.
I lost
You don't have a beard.
I don't have a beard. Where's my beard? I don't have a beard.
You don't have a beard.
Who is this guy?
And why is he following me with the camera?
Wait, he has a camera. I have a camera. You're my clone. Or am I your clone?
What has happened? My life has no meaning anymore. Calm down.
No!
Change has brought me back, you know, he's dead.
That's my most famous trick. Act like I'm passed out, and then people just slip change into my pocket or steal it. Often steal it, but steal is not a bad trick.
That's hardcore.
Hello. I love your wax candle.
I think it's kryptonite.
It's ooh.
Dude, I think that thing is like a pyramid.
Let's just all stare at it for 5 hours.
It's shiny.
It's like ammo for like a really huge gun.
You're right.
Wait a minute, I know what this is. This is a Jolly Rancher. Everybody dig in.
That's a horrible tasting Jolly Rancher. Have that back.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Bum. You're disgusting. The vermin,
That one guy at the Pixel Palace told me about you.
the vermin they allow in this place.